They walked me out of my own company with a security guard who smelled like energy drinks and poor life choices. That was 6 weeks ago. But if we're being honest here, and at this point, why the hell not? The real story starts with a cracked circuit board in my garage workshop 11 years back. I'm Russell Brennan, 51 years old. And yeah, I built a company that would eventually help Fortune 100 firms avoid billion-dollar PR nightmares. But back then, it was just me, a soldering iron, and a laptop that wheezed like my uncle after Thanksgiving dinner. The garage was freezing. My wife kept the thermostat at 62 to save money. The neighbors were decent folks, but their dog barked at absolutely nothing every night around 2 a.m., and my idea of a good time was finding discount bulk coffee at Costco. But the sentiment analysis model I was building, it worked. When I finally cracked the algorithm that night, I felt this surge of satisfaction, like finding out your 401k actually grew during a recession. Within 2 years, my garage had turned into a legitimate fire hazard of equipment and employees. We burned through more coffee than a truck stop diner, and somehow between late nights, broken prototypes, and one weird week when our back end went semi-viral because some conspiracy theorist thought we were predicting the apocalypse, we got noticed. A mid-sized firm came calling with promises: funding, expansion, strategic partnerships. "We want to honor your vision," they said. "Just help us scale it properly." So I sold for $1. Not a typo. $1 actual dollar. Not because I'm an idiot, but because the deal was structured around equity, long-term influence, and most importantly, a clause buried deep in the contract that my lawyer insisted we include. If I got fired without cause, I could buy it back. Same price. $1. I remember Malcolm, my lawyer and college roommate of 30 years, pausing when he finished writing that section. We were in his office, late afternoon, bourbon already on the desk because that's how we'd handled every major decision since graduation. "You really think they won't notice this?" he asked, tapping the page with his pen. I took a sip. "Mal, these guys won't even read past the revenue projections. And if they do, then we find out if they're smart enough to keep me around." He smiled that knowing smile he gets. "You're playing chess while they're playing checkers. I learned from the best." I'd watched Mal negotiate his way through 3 corporate mergers and 2 nasty divorces. The man understood leverage. And I was right. They didn't notice. Not the new CFO, Tyler Ashford, with his perfectly trimmed beard and MBA that he mentioned in every single meeting. Not Kelsey Langford, the VP of Brand Evolution or whatever made-up title she gave herself, who once told me that our product dashboard felt too data-aggressive for modern users. And definitely not the board, who barely glanced past the page showing projected returns, while almost not the board. Leonard Briggs, a 64-year-old investor who'd been in tech since before the dot-com crash, did pause on that section. I saw him squint at it during the signing meeting, but Tyler was already moving to the next page, and Len just shook his head slightly and signed. Later, he caught my eye across the conference table and gave me the smallest nod. He knew. He didn't say anything, but he knew. I stayed on after the sale, officially as Chief Strategy Officer, unofficially as the last person in the building who remembered why we built this thing in the first place. At first, everything seemed fine. They let me run the product team. Tyler stayed in his spreadsheet kingdom. Kelsey posted inspirational quotes on LinkedIn about disrupting industries and got wine drunk at networking events. But slowly, things started shifting. Monthly innovation meetings turned into brand alignment sessions with no engineers invited. The R&D floor got repainted in these soft pastel colors that gave everyone headaches under the fluorescent lights. Instead of analyzing actual user feedback, we started running it through tone optimization software to make it sound more upbeat and engaging. I'd get pulled into meetings just to be talked over. Tyler would interrupt me with phrases like agile market recalibration and synergistic value streams. Kelsey started introducing me as our founding visionary, which is corporate code for this person used to matter but doesn't anymore. Then came the subtle ageism. Not the obvious kind you could report to HR, the coded kind. Tyler would say things like, "We appreciate your legacy perspective, but we need forward-thinking leadership." Kelsey would talk about evolving past analog mindsets into digital native frameworks. I'd been writing code since before she was born, but suddenly my 3 decades of experience were a liability instead of an asset. The worst part? They made me train my replacement. Kid named Brandon, 27, fresh from Stanford with a master's in something that didn't exist when I was in school. Tyler called it knowledge transfer. I called it humiliation. Brandon would nod along while I explained architecture decisions that had kept our system running for 9 years without a major failure. Then he'd immediately suggest we modernize everything. "That's very old school," he'd say, like it was a polite insult, like 30 years of experience was somehow a disability. I kept quiet, took notes, paid attention to every slight, every dismissal, every condescending smile. And one night around 2 a.m, just me and a glass of Maker's Mark and this sinking feeling in my gut, I pulled out the original sale agreement from my locked file cabinet, found the clause, still there, still valid. Section 14C, tucked right after a page about arbitration procedures and IP disclaimers. My name, my terms, my dollar. Mal was still my lawyer, still picking up when I called, at odd hours. He didn't say much when I told him to start preparing documents, just, "I'll have everything ready." He didn't ask what for. After 30 years, he knew. The first thing they killed was the whiteboard. This massive old-school beast, chipped at the corners, permanently marked with dry erase ghosts from brainstorming sessions past. I'd sketched the entire original product architecture on that board the night before our first investor pitch. The dev team would leave weird drawings on it at 3 a.m. to cope with deadline stress. That board held history. Kelsey had it removed during one of her office wellness audits. "We're elevating the workspace aesthetic," she announced brightly. "That board radiates founder anxiety." Founder anxiety. That was week 1. By week 4, our weekly product strategy session had been rebranded as a brand synergy touchpoint. No engineers, no data scientists, just marketing people talking about how our analytics platform should evoke trust feelings instead of overwhelming users with aggressive transparency. Tyler nodded along during these meetings, which was rich coming from a guy who once asked, "Why do we even need a UX team? Can't we just copy what Salesforce does?" The shift was slow, but it grated on me like fiberglass insulation. Clients who used to call me directly started getting routed through account managers, mid-level people trained in corporate deflection and thanking you for your patience. Our best data scientist, Aaron Westfield, caught me in the parking garage one evening. "I'm getting offers," he said, looking around like the concrete pillars had ears. "Real offers. Double what I make here." "What the hell is happening upstairs?" I didn't sugarcoat it. "I don't know yet, but I'm watching." "Should I take one?" "That's your call, Aaron. But if something changes here, you'll be the first person I call." He nodded slowly. "I'll wait a bit longer then." And I was watching. Closely. The engineering floor went from organized chaos of post-it notes and late-night pizza runs to this quiet graveyard of empty desks and corporate buzzwords. They slashed the NLP research budget by 70% to fund a rebranding campaign that featured a cartoon mascot named Trusty, a cartoon mascot, for an AI analytics company serving Fortune 500 clients. I almost put my fist through a monitor when I saw the mock-ups. They started eliminating redundant roles, which translated to anyone who questioned the new direction. I tried raising concerns in an executive meeting. Tyler smiled like he was posing for a dental ad and told me, "You're emotionally attached, Russ. That clouds strategic vision." Kelsey added, "We need to think like a rocket ship, not a museum." She said this while wearing a $900 blazer covered in geometric patterns. That's when Tyler leaned forward with that smug look he gets. "Besides, we need leadership that understands modern growth dynamics. No offense, but your generation built companies differently. We're in a different era now. No offense, that's what people say right before they insult you." "My generation," I said slowly, "built companies that lasted." "What era are you in exactly? The one where you burn through cash on cartoon mascots?" The room went quiet. Kelsey's smile turned brittle. Tyler's jaw tightened. "This is exactly the kind of resistance we're talking about," he said to the others, like I wasn't even there. That night, I went home, and my wife was still up, reading in the living room. She looked up when I walked in, took one look at my face, and closed her book. "Bad day?" "They're pushing me out, Claire." She'd been married to me for 30 years. She knew when I needed questions and when I just needed presence. She stood up, walked to the kitchen, and came back with 2 fingers of bourbon in a glass. Their loss, she said simply, handing it to me. I took the glass. Those 2 words meant more than an hour of conversation would have. She knew what I'd built. She'd been there for the garage years, the sleepless nights, the mortgage we took out to keep payroll running for 3 months when funding almost fell through. She'd been our first CFO before we could afford to hire one. I'm not going quietly, I said. I know. She squeezed my shoulder. I didn't think you would. I pulled out the contract from my briefcase and read Section 14C slowly, carefully. Should the executive be terminated without cause, he may exercise his right to repurchase the asset as defined in Exhibit A at the original consideration amount within 30 days of notice. I didn't need to finish reading. The clause was still there, still legal, still binding. Mal texted me the next morning without prompting. Still monitoring their corporate filings? I sent back a thumbs up. Then I printed the clause again, folded it carefully, and tucked it into my briefcase. Not because I was going to use it yet, but because something old and instinctive in my gut was starting to whisper that they were going to push me out, and when they did, they wouldn't see it coming. It happened during the Q2 review meeting. What should have been a routine performance discussion turned into a public execution. The conference room was freezing. That expensive kind of cold that says we spend too much on AC because we can. I was flipping through the quarterly metrics when Tyler cut me off mid-sentence. "Let's pivot," he said, and I could tell he'd rehearsed it. "Kelsey has a presentation that really captures our evolved brand direction." I blinked. "We're discussing client retention across verticals. Why would—" But he was already motioning to his assistant, who dimmed the lights like we were at a Broadway show. Kelsey clicked her wireless remote with theatrical flair. Up came a slide titled, "From Analytics to Experience, the Next Chapter." And there it was. Our analytics dashboard, the one I'd built in my damn garage, transformed into a pastel carousel of emojis, gradients, and that idiotic cartoon mascot Trusty now wearing sunglasses. Kelsey beamed. "We're shifting the paradigm. No more data overwhelm. Users want comfort, simplicity, friendly engagement. Think Duolingo meets Oprah." I laughed. Couldn't help it. One sharp bark of disbelief. Tyler didn't laugh. "You find this amusing, Russ?" "I find it tragic." Silence dropped like a stage curtain. Kelsey gave that brittle smile she wears when she's about to go for your throat. "We appreciate your passion, but let's not cling to founder nostalgia. That era was charming, but we're scaling now." Founder nostalgia. I let the phrase sit there like a rotten piece of fruit. Tyler turned to the board members. "Frankly, we need to ask if Russ's role still aligns with our direction. Vision is valuable, but alignment is essential. We've hit a friction point." I caught Len Briggs's eye across the table. He was shaking his head slightly, but the younger board members were nodding along with Tyler's speech. Len opened his mouth like he was going to object, but Tyler was already moving forward. "Without cause seems harsh," Len said carefully. "It's a strategic realignment," Tyler replied smoothly. "Nothing personal." Len looked at me again. I gave him the smallest shrug. "Let it play out." He floated the termination casually, like discussing a budget line item. I felt it in my chest. Everyone did. A line had been crossed. No decision was made that day. No one stood up and said, "You're out." But the suggestion hung in the air like smoke before a fire. I closed my laptop, sat back, and didn't argue. That night, I drove home in silence. Not angry, not even particularly sad. Just cold, detached, like watching a documentary about my own downfall. At 2:30 in the morning, I texted Mal. "Pull all the documents. If they fire me, we're triggering it. Copy. I'll prep everything." Then I went to the kitchen where Claire was waiting with bourbon already poured. She didn't ask if the meeting went badly. She could read it on my face. "When?" she asked. "Soon. Week or two, maybe." "You have a plan?" It wasn't a question. She knew me too well. "I've had a plan for 11 years, I said, pulling out the contract. "They just don't know it yet." The next 3 weeks were demolition. First casualty was Curtis Reeves, our lead UX designer. Been with me since the early days when we were still figuring out color schemes. Tyler called it a strategic sunset of overlapping responsibilities. Curtis called me, voice shaking. They didn't even let me clear my desk. Security walked me out like I'd stolen equipment. "I'm sorry, Curtis. Are you next? Probably. When you land somewhere else, call me first. 2 days later, marketing absorbed the entire product design function. Kelsey hosted a celebration sync with cupcakes and mood boards. She handed out swag that said, "Trust the shift." That same afternoon, 3 engineers quit before lunch. No notice, just packed their headphones and walked out. They froze me out. Completely. Every decision got routed around me like I was a pothole. Meetings moved on my calendar without notification, then got rescheduled without my input. Slack channels went quiet when I joined. I'd check dashboards and find features I'd greenlit quietly removed. Still, I showed up every day, calm, professional, like I was watching them dismantle my life's work but taking detailed notes for the lawsuit. Then Curtis knocked on my office door late one Thursday. He looked around nervously before stepping inside and closing the door. "They have the list," he said quietly. "Layoffs. You're on it." I looked up from my monitor. "Who told you?" "Doesn't matter. It's coming. They want you out before next quarter so they can show post-founder independence in the investor update." "Thanks, Curtis." He nodded once and left like he'd just delivered a death notice. That night, I didn't pour bourbon. I pulled out the checkbook Mal had couriered over 2 weeks earlier. One check, blue ink, no flourishes. Pay to the order of Centicore Analytics. Amount, $1.00. Memo line, Section 14C buyback exercise. Signed, dated. Quiet power in a small rectangle. I placed it in a crisp white envelope. No stamp yet, just waiting, like me. HR scheduled it for 4:30 on a Thursday. Calendar invite with no subject line, just a time block labeled discussion, like I didn't know exactly what that meant. The conference room was already staged. Tyler and Kelsey sitting side by side like corporate royalty at the world's worst coronation. The HR rep, Cheryl Prentice, perched at the table's edge, clutching a manila folder. Tyler spoke first, dripping fake sympathy. "Russ, we've appreciated everything you built here, truly. But we feel it's time to move in a different direction." "Different direction," corporate euthanasia delivered with a smile. Kelsey chimed in with her usual chirpy spin. "This doesn't diminish your legacy at all. Think of it as a new chapter for everyone involved." They slid the termination paperwork across the table. Severance package insulting, NDA clause toothless, a pre-written statement for my public-facing transition if I wanted to post on LinkedIn. They'd even included suggested hashtags. I didn't speak, didn't react, just flipped through the pages like I was checking my credit card statement. Cheryl cleared her throat. "We'll need your badge and laptop before you leave the floor." "Of course." They didn't even let me return to my office. Security met me outside the conference room. Big guy, didn't say a word. I handed over my laptop, badge, and building access card. He nodded and pressed the elevator button. As the elevator doors slid shut, I caught one last glimpse of Kelsey through the glass wall, already laughing at something Tyler whispered. I didn't punch anything, didn't yell, didn't cry. I went home. Claire met me at the door, took one look at my face, and pulled me into a hug. "Now?" she asked. "Now." The next morning, Mal slid the package into a FedEx envelope with steady hands. "Want me to include a cover letter?" "No," I said. "Just this." The letter was 4 lines. One sentence mattered most. "I am exercising my right under Section 14C of the original sale agreement. The required consideration is enclosed." Mal sealed it, slapped on the shipping label, and dropped it in the outgoing bin. My hands were steady, my breathing was calm. They thought they'd erased me with a calendar invite and security escort, but what they'd actually done was hand me back my company for exactly $1. They got the envelope on a Monday morning. I wasn't there, but I know Tyler well enough to write the script. He probably skimmed the first line and smirked. "He's trying to scare us," he likely said, feet kicked up on his desk like a man too arrogant to know he's already bleeding. Kelsey probably laughed, that forced nasal sound, and called it founder drama. They waited a full day before forwarding it to legal. On Tuesday morning, their general counsel, Patricia Carmichael, read the clause. "Have you actually read this section?" she asked. "We reviewed it when we did the acquisition. You need to read it now. Section 14C. It's enforceable." Tyler laughed. "There's no way that holds up. That agreement is years old." "It's enforceable," Patricia repeated. "There's no expiration language. And more importantly, your team never completed the legal merger. The original startup entity was never fully absorbed. It's still alive in Delaware. He owns the controlling share. Silence. He doesn't want control, Tyler said eventually. He wants to make a scene. No, Patricia said. He already made his move, and you gave him the legal grounds when you fired him without cause. By Wednesday, the buzz started. Mal had waited exactly 72 hours, then tipped off a few key clients. Discreet messages, professional, just a heads up. I'll be operating independently again soon. Same technology, same team if they're interested. Better leadership. My phone lit up. First it was Hugh Montgomery from Medscope. Heard a rumor. You coming back online? Then Simone Bradford, our very first enterprise client. You know we'll follow you, right? We only stayed because you were still there. Even Aaron texted, you magnificent bastard. I'm ready when you are. The emergency board meeting hit their calendars like a freight train. Saturday morning, 9 a.m., mandatory attendance. No breakfast spread, just angry investors in fleece vests and sharp blazers staring at the same document projected on a screen with Section 14C highlighted like a red warning flag. Tyler tried playing it cool at first, cleared his throat, adjusted his watch, used words like technical oversight and manageable exposure. But sweat started collecting at his hairline by slide 3. He mailed a check? One investor asked, incredulous. Yes, and you cashed it. We didn't know. You didn't read. Len Briggs leaned forward, and I heard about this part later from him directly. I tried to warn you about that clause, he said quietly. At the original signing, you told me it was legacy contract language and moved on. Tyler's face went pale. Kelsey tried deflecting with buzzwords. The brand identity remains strong and our user engagement metrics. Stop, another board member snapped. Do you understand what he just did? He used your own paperwork to walk out with the core asset of this company, and you handed him the keys while insulting him about being old school. Meanwhile, the fallout accelerated. Medscope announced they were freezing their contract renewal pending organizational clarity. A healthcare AI firm in Boston issued a press release about reevaluating vendor relationships based on original leadership presence. Simone went full scorched earth on LinkedIn, posted, "We signed on for Russ Brennan, not the rebrand, not the cartoon mascot, him." 60,000 likes, 15 trade publications picked it up within a day. On my end, I wasn't gloating. I was working. Mal and I toured office spaces 3 blocks from the old headquarters. We found it fast. 5th floor, corner unit, exposed brick, room for 20 desks, 2 conference rooms, and a proper espresso machine. While Tyler was still trying to explain his way through a mutiny, Mal was signing the lease. By week 2, my inbox looked like a reunion tour. Aaron emailed, "I've got half the old NLP team on a group chat. Just say the word." Curtis sent his resume with the subject line, "Ready to fix things." Even Nicole from accounting forwarded a revised P&L and wrote, "I never liked Tyler. Let's go." We didn't do formal interviews. We held a war council. 10 of us, folding chairs, pizza, and a whiteboard that already had "Rebuild It Right" scrawled in red marker. Curtis brought donuts. Mal brought contracts. I brought the clause, framed and hung it on the wall. We didn't need motivational posters. We had shared anger, caffeine, and purpose. That same week, Len Briggs called me. "I resigned from their board," he said. "Sent the letter this morning. I'm too old to watch amateurs destroy good companies." "Appreciate that, Len." "You need advisory board members for the new structure?" "I do, actually. Count me in." "And Russ?" "That was the most elegant piece of contract warfare I've seen in 40 years. A tech reporter reached out next. "Is it true? You bought back your company for $1 after they fired you?" "Technically," I replied, "I reclaimed it." Next day, it was front page on TechCrunch. The dollar comeback, how one clause sank a corporate takeover. Tyler tried restructuring his way out of the nosedive. More layoffs, a desperate PR campaign, a sponsored podcast nobody listened to. Nothing worked. The company's valuation tanked. The board called for resignations. Tyler's final memo was unintentionally poetic. "I believe in innovation, even when others don't see the vision." Translation: I got outplayed and I'm unemployed. 3 months. Later, they offered me the keynote slot at the Tech West conference. The room was packed. every seat filled with founders, investors, journalists, and LinkedIn personalities who suddenly wanted to know my story. I walked on stage, slow, deliberate, not smiling yet. I told them about the garage workshop, the work it took to build something real, how belief got twisted by people who knew buzzwords but not substance. I told them about being called old school like it was an insult, about training your own replacement while being told your experience was a liability. Then I told them about the clause. The collective intake of breath rippled through the room. When I got to the part where I mailed the check, someone in the front row whispered, "No way." Then I reached under the podium and pulled out a simple black frame. Inside it, a check, $1.00. Signed, dated, ink slightly faded. I held it up, steady, like a flag planted on conquered ground. Camera flashes went off, phones raised everywhere. The room went silent but electric. My phone buzzed in my jacket pocket. Mal's name. One line. Len just wired bridge funding. $2 million. We're official. I grinned. Full and genuine. Always read the contract, I said to the crowd. Read it twice if you think you're smarter than the person who wrote it. And remember, experience doesn't expire. It compounds. Standing ovation. Not because I built an empire, because I took it back. I drove home that night and Claire was still up. She looked at my face and smiled. How'd it go? Standing ovation. Of course it did. She handed me bourbon. You've been playing the long game since the day you signed that contract. Learned it from you, I said. Patience, preparation, and never underestimate someone who knows how things actually work. She raised her glass. To the long game. To the long game. Mal texted an hour later. Just 3 words. Proud of you, brother. That's all he needed to say. After 30 years, 3 words carried the weight of everything. They thought age was a weakness. Turns out, it's just experience you haven't paid for yet. And I'd been collecting that currency for 51 years. The old company? Lights went dark 6 months later. The new one? We're still here. Same name. Better management. And one hell of a story about why you should always read the fine print.